Nintendo 3DS Prisma Illya.
Good afternoon, everyone. Lately, I've not been exactly impressed by the quality of anime tie-ins, and here comes Fate Kaleid Liner Prisma Illya, produced by Kadokawa Games for the 3DS, based on the Anonymous series, which, in turn, is a spin-off of the massively popular Fate Stay Night. The game should have come out during summer 2013, when the first season of the anime was airing, but the publisher decided to hold the game back on quality concerns. The game has been delayed for a year, and most probably such a long wait is due to have the game hitting the market while the second anime season is on. The game takes place between the two series, and for some reason elemental and class cards have been scattered once again, and it's up to Illya and friends to gather them all. At first, only Illya is available as a playable character, but completing her story opens up Miyu, Rin and Luvia. Aside the controlled character, the game is always the same. You have 7 nights to search for the 7 class cards around the city, or face the bad ending. The city is divided in 7 locations, and each night you can visit 3 places. Locations with a class card are clearly marked on the map, and going there will trigger a battle. Other locations can hold dialogues with other characters, battles with other characters, or 3 random elemental cards. Battle rules in story mode are always the same. Defeat your opponent before the timer or your health runs out. The timer is set at 60 seconds. The battlegrounds aren't particularly big, but you'll feel pressed to constantly attack your opponent, as many of them will heal throughout the battle and they seemingly have an unlimited amount of elemental cards, while you only have 10, and most of them are only single use. Controls also play a factor, as it's impossible to move your character and the camera at the same time. Character movement is mapped to the analog knob, with the camera assigned to left and right on the D-pad, which also works to lock and unlock onto a target. Most arenas aren't particularly complex, but you either move around, rotating the camera once in a while, or stand still waiting for your opponent to reach you first. Either way, those are precious seconds lost for no good reason. Fighting an opponent isn't particularly challenging. You switch automatically between long and short range attacks, plus elemental and class cards. Standard long range attacks aren't effective, so all battles degenerate quickly into brawls, where class cards shine. Elemental cards are useful for long range harassment, and some attention has gone into the 100 cards the game offers, but in the end you'll stick to just a couple of them and rely on class cards. When knocked down, opponents can still be attacked until the recovery animation starts, and they will remain invincible for what seems an eternity, even being able to attack you while you can't. The deformed characters take a huge portion of the screen, and it's sometimes hard to judge if distances are good enough for attacks. Even in hard mode, the tactic will be to use a strong elemental card to wear down your opponent fast, close with air, and deal the finishing blows with a class card. Randomly, story battles are fought with an ally. This can prove useful against some of the late phantasms, but when your ally defeats a card, you lose the battle and you won't collect that card. Having an ally score a lucky long-range hit after you have dealt the rest of the damage is not fun. This is repeated for all playable characters, and the only thing that might keep you going is the story, but from my understanding, it doesn't add anything to what the first anime season established, and the reward for the good end is only a static image with few variations. The length of a character's story mode is also baffling. Illya took about 40 minutes without skipping dialogues, the others, with skipped dialogues, half that time. The game features a battle mode that can be tackled in local multiplayer, as well as a good number of elemental cards to unlock, but what's available is barely enough to keep someone interested for a couple of afternoons, unless you are a huge Type Moon fan. And even if you are, it's not like this game will expand the Fate universe. It doesn't help that the game is also severely lacking on the technical side. Sure, all dialogues are voiced by the same actresses from the series, but this is the only saving grace. The first thing to notice is that loading and saving times are incredibly long, the longest I've experienced on a 3DS. Loading screens are present where they shouldn't be, like accessing the options from the story mode menu. And honestly, I can't really see why the game needs to load this long for so many times, as the interface is very barebone and there are only a handful of portraits for each character. The 3D effect can only be seen during cutscenes, with 3D battles offering an effect so subtle I initially thought there was none. It's not like that the depth effect is well applied in cutscenes either, as some backgrounds will show black sidebars with 3D on, and portraits are blurry with 3D off, two things that unfortunately I cannot show in this video by capture or by photo. Graphics do not slow down during battles, but it can be said they look particularly good. They share the same level of averageness of the interface. If Kadokawa really held the game back due to quality concerns, I want to know how the game was back then. At least it could have been spectacularly bad. In its current incarnation, it's just plain bad, and makes me think rather fondly of previous anime games, especially Madoka Magica, as the structure between that and Prisma Illya is very similar. I hope you have enjoyed this review and you stick around for more. Briareos Kerensky, over and out.
次は負けないわよ。